Hey, good morning guys, and welcome back to the shop here in Arizona. Now Tom's got a little bit going on over here and we need to talk. So let's go to my office because we got lots to talk about. Right in front of me is a very bad decision that I made a few years ago about a fun project I was gonna rebuild a motorhome. And take you guys along the way with me as we journey through a complete rebuild of a motorhome. Unfortunately, everything got very, very busy, and that was an awful lot of work, and it was the next thing on my list to do, which is, of course, why it's sitting in the bay right here. And that thing right there has been causing me a lot of stress and anxiety over the last few years. I think it's almost been 4 years now, and so I was going to be very excited to get working on it and getting rebuilding it and bring you guys along for the way, because it was going to be, I wouldn't say fun, but it was going to be a challenge, and at the end of the day, I was going to probably lose a lot of time and money doing the whole thing. But fun, right? But see, the thing is, we had quite the rainstorm here in Arizona, and this got left out in the rain, unprotected, on the last week-long journey. And so we had a lot of water coming in through the ceiling. And so I'm going to have a lot more work to do than I planned on doing originally. The best bet would be to give up on it, but that's just not who I am. So why am I having this conversation with you guys? Well, it's because I need to put it on hold again, because some of you might know I just picked up a new project, and it's maybe a little bit bigger than this Georgetown. Now, this is a 1996 Elegant Lady XL Prevost bus conversion. And while the exterior really does look pretty good, the whole bus itself is going to require an awful lot of work. And we will walk through this thing together, and I will show you all the problems, but first I need to give you some back history. So there I was, minding my own business in Harrisburg, Kentucky, just doing some inspections for Doug at Sewell Motorcoach. I didn't have a flight back because at the time the airports were a little bit questionable, and he came up with a solution to my problem, which was I could just drive myself back in a really nice bus conversion. He would even go so far as to pay for the return fuel for me to get back to Arizona. And you know what, if I bring it back here, if I didn't mind working on it and put a little bit of effort into getting it reconditioned and rebuilt, all the better. And who knows, maybe I'll fall in love with it and I'll want to buy it from him. Now, I can't deny it gave me a great opportunity to get home safely, probably, more on that later, but also gave me a good opportunity to start tearing into a Liberty bus conversion to a level that I don't normally do and start doing a lot of repairs that, again, I don't normally do, with almost no time frame or stress involved in the matter, because he'll pay for the parts and he'll give me 2 years if I need to rebuild it. And so I don't think anybody will fault me for putting this one back on hold again for an incredibly rare opportunity to rebuild one of the nicest bus conversions ever made. A riveted body, Liberty Elegant Lady. Now, it's possible if I would have looked at this a little bit more in Kentucky, I may have just risked it all and got an airplane flight back to Phoenix rather than taking on such a huge, daunting, and long-term bus rebuild project. But before I lament taking on this project too much, let me just go ahead and take you back to the beginning of this journey in Kentucky and along the way back to Arizona. All right, Doug, you're sending me on the way. Strong, 1996 Liberty Elegant Lady.
Yep.
Putting some fuel in it.
When I see this thing again, James, I want it to be perfect. Have a safe trip, James.
Thank you, Doug. The chassis is strong. So far we've got a couple hundred miles down the road, and this bus is really a fabulous drive. The awning is a little bit loose, that'll have to be fixed. The engine's been almost ice cold at about 175 degrees. Oil pressures is good. Cruise control does work. Engine brake doesn't work. So that one's a little bit concerning to me as I get into the Intermountain West. But that's not my problem right now. Alternator's charging. I got one of the inverters powered up, so that's helping me out too, because I do have the refrigerator running. And the fuel gauge is still working. We're just a little above 3/4 of the tank right now. Otherwise, air pressure's been holding steady. Probably need to get this over to Bus Grease Monkey and get the brakes looked at though, right? It's kind of put the fear in me about all buses and their brakes. I have some complaints, but none of them are about the way it looks or drives. Did I mention the Webasto heat doesn't work? The generator doesn't work, so I have an inverter and a space heater. And then for those that are curious, because I'm stopped right here, you can see engine oil temperature, oil pressure, water temperature, and the air pressure is right there. Fuel, it's a little bit of bounce to it. Engine speed's good. Battery voltages are pretty good. Exhaust temp either isn't working or it's not getting hot. I'm guessing it's not getting hot. Even the boost has been reading pretty well. Backup camera works surprisingly well for over 30 years old too. All right, back on the road. Quite as good as Kentucky. It doesn't look like we're consuming any oil, which is good. Yeah, we're missing one of the PTO belts, but 2 is better than none, I guess. Still got coolant up in there. I'm not seeing any issues. No complaints. It's a good engine. I think it's safe to say this elegant lady was pretty thirsty. Sure is a good looking bus. All right, back on the road. And so while obviously I did make it safely back, it wasn't without its own set of challenges. Oddly enough, only about 3 or 4 hours away from the shop, because we all like failures, right? May have celebrated a little prematurely, and that's my own fault. I took the bus off a high idle and the engine died. I cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked. So we did notice a fuel leak down there, and that's from the fuel water separator, and I guess that was probably enough to break vacuum. And so when I took it off high idle, it allowed air into the system. And I don't know if you can see how empty my fuel filter is down there. And so even Bus Grease Monkey gave me a phone call and advised me about what to do. Thanks for rescuing me again. All the tools I need. It's also hard to believe that I just spent $100. All right, so what happened is that this seal that's supposed to seal off the stem from the petcock cracked, and I think what happened is it's supposed to compress down when you unscrew it, and I think what actually happens is when there's suction, it's actually pulling this out of its seat. It's supposed to be on the bottom of this right here. I got some valve stems. I got the seals off of those, a M8 bolt, a washer, a nut, a fender washer, cut off the spigot. That valve stem seal will go there, and then this bolt in the washer will hopefully compress it. And then I have the bigger one that fits almost perfectly inside here. And then this fender washer to have this compression on that, and then the nut. See? Frankenstein. Alright, so hopefully I should just feed on like it normally would. Take this off. And this was just filter or service, so this is a brand new filter. Alright, that one's primed. This one's filled. Okay. Clear? Alright, now speaking of my problems that I had, my temporary plug is starting to leak, but thankfully I have a new ally when it comes to bus conversions. Scott with Bus Grease Monkey sent me a link so I could purchase that petcock, and I finally got it delivered because obviously I need to get this bus out of the way. We don't need extra paint on it yet, but it shouldn't be too difficult. And for those that don't have a Bus Grease Monkey to help you out, there's their part number, RK30488. Now I need to go ahead and fill up the fuel that I just drained out. Of course, that gives me an opportunity to show you guys one of the other problems we have. And no, it's not the weak door struts. This is how I was able to get some fuel to get me down the road when I got stuck. This has a really nice Kohler 20 kW generator on it. While it runs, it doesn't make power. It's on my list of things to fix, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know if you can see, those don't connect. Otherwise, it was just service too. I assume there's a problem with that fuel pump. Somebody added a new fuel pump to it, but I think most bus manufacturers should give you this option to have backup fuel dispensary from your generator. Maybe all RV manufacturers give you this option. Okay, there we go. Alright, with that done, we can finally get this thing fired up. At least one of the repairs is done, but I can't run this too long because I did develop another problem in the back here too. Hope this thing starts up. There we go. Bring it into high idle. We'll build up that air pressure and move this back into the bay next to the Georgetown, and we'll start a video showing all the problems I found. I don't know why I'm smiling, because I have more fear than joy at this point. Air pressure's almost built up, and I got Tom. He'll guide me so I don't hit anything over there. Go ahead and take the tag axle off. Because at some point between Oklahoma and Arizona, I did develop a coolant leak. And so the first thing I have to do after fixing the fuel leak is fix a coolant leak right down here, which happens to be at the bottom of the engine block and the lower radiator hose. So it means I'm going to lose all the coolant. I mean, I guess what's ever left of the coolant. I already have some replacement parts for this, but that'll be at a different time. I do want to publicly thank Scott with Bus Grease Monkey for his assistance in helping me with the fuel leak on here and not freaking out and getting stranded just 3 or 4 hours from home. And also, I might need his help on a coolant job. But once we get that taken care of, we'll pull this thing out and I'll do a thorough tell-all of everything that I know currently, of everything that's wrong with this 1996 Liberty Elegant Lady Prevost XL bus conversion that Doug so kindly put in my safe hands, I guess. All right, wish me luck. I'm not sure I've ever achieved the goal of perfection.
Well, we can try.
But we're gonna try.
We're gonna try.
This should be a lot of fun. Thanks for your opportunity and your faith in me. I don't know if it's...
I look forward to the videos.
All right.
As my comments, I put a video last night. People are like, I'm looking forward to this. So I'm looking forward to it too. I don't know if they're gonna be on TikTok or YouTube, but wherever they are, we're waiting to see them.
They'll probably be on all the platforms, and y'all probably I'll edit out all the cursing for sure and the frustration.